Today's show is sponsored by Tweezy R. So Alan, if you want to do some upkeep between eyebrow threading sessions or your next trip to the chiropodist, having a reliable set of beauty implements in your medicine cabinet comes in handy.
I've not been one for plucking my eyebrows, Mark, but as I've got older, I've noticed those nostril hairs and toenails are getting harder to deal with.
Yeah, me too. It sounds like you need Tweezy R beauty implements. They're surgically engineered, perfectly balanced and sharpened, and made from surgical-grade stainless steel.
All I need now is a lifetime warranty.
Well, now you mention it, Alan. Not only are they unparalleled in quality, they also come with a lifetime warranty. Seriously! As long as you've not lost or abused them, and we don't want you abusing them, fill in the warranty form when you purchase your Tweezy R surgically engineered tweezers, and they'll be replaced for free.
To order your Tweezy R surgically engineered beauty implements, go to tweez-er.com and enter the promo code XPATS10 at checkout and receive 10% off your order. Today's guest is one of the longest serving admins on the hugely popular Palms in Perth Facebook group, and as if that didn't keep her busy enough, she also has around 4,000 followers to keep up to date with her page Helen Berry, Community Information North Coast Ward, Mindarity Turogs. Helen, welcome to Expats and Cork Hats.
Hi, welcome.
With all of that, I don't know where you found the time to come get us. Even just saying the name of your page group takes a bit of time, so thanks for coming up. Really appreciate it. It's nice to see you. So how did you get involved with all of this?
Palms in Perth, got approached, I don't know how many years ago now. Would I be an admin? Yeah, sure. It's a way of connecting. I quite like the site. It's quite good. Get quite a lot of interest, questions from other people wanting to move over, questions from new arrivals, like where do I go for this? I don't know, how do I do Medicare? What does Medicare even mean? All those things that everyone learns when they come. And my own page comes from where I ran for council in 2017. Polled fifth, but didn't get in, so I'm not a councillor.
What got you involved in that then? What, did you just
wanting
want
to
get involved in the community?
Part of community, get to know the projects that are coming out, the decisions that are being made, what are our rates spent on? Because unless you get involved, you have no idea. You pay the bill, probably moan about it. They do an increase. What's that for? It was interest. I do some things with the City of Wanneroo. So I'm on their Reconciliation Action Planning Reference Group.
That's another mouthful.
you like your groups. Palms in Perth must be like a
that's the easy one.
Rolls off, and they shorten that to PIP as well, which is just makes it easier.
That's the easy one. So in 2016, I went back to the UK to get married and involve the family. So me and husband, second marriages. We've got 3 boys in the UK, 5 grandchildren, all in the UK.
Are they all in the UK? That must be tough. Yeah,
it's been tough the last year. Yeah, the last grandchild was only born in December. Yeah, can't wait to go back and meet her and give her a hug.
So you and the husband here yourself, and no family?
Yeah, we came on our own, but other family have followed since. Brother and his wife and 3 children followed. In 2018, I went and picked up my parents because they're getting on a little bit in years.
They're here now as well?
Yeah, they're here now as well, yeah.
That's great, yeah.
Sorry, Mum, sorry, Dad, for calling you old, but yeah, a bit frail, needed a bit of support, so daughters normally do that role. Yeah, move them over. Yeah.
How are they enjoying being here then, Helen? It must be great for you having them here, even though you're maybe looking after them a little bit, probably.
They live with us, so we built a granny annex to accommodate them. It works out well. They get the support they need. Brother lives in Butler with sister-in-law, so yeah.
Oh, so you've got a lot of close family here then?
Yeah, my mum's got a brother here as well. It's been here years, so we weren't actually the first, we were the second. Well, one son's got permanent residency. Time it took to get it, he's met his now wife who... Yeah, daughters aren't good at leaving mums, so...
Yeah, that's tough. I think Mark and I can testify to that. It was much harder for our wives to leave than it was for us.
Yeah. So. Like I've said many a time, my wife's really homesick because she just misses her mum, dad, sisters.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have that issue. So,
well,
miss the kids.
You just brought them over. Yeah, missing the kids must be hard. So what age are your kids in? You've got one...
Oh, so I've got one son aged 32. Husband's got one aged 32 and 34. If you want your kids to leave home, what you actually do is you say, we're going on holiday for a few weeks to look around Australia. Then you get back and you say, we're emigrating. If you've got a choice, you can come or stay, and then they leave home.
Yeah, they could come with you, but then that's like Mia. Like, Mia's 15 now, and she could, like, we're staying here now for Mia because my wife is basically looking after Mia while we're here, and she wants to go home. But because Mia doesn't want to go home, so we're staying here. But Mia could get to like 18-year-old and just fled.
Yeah, that's
she
it.
could go travel in Europe or whatever. She might not even be here herself. When your kids get old enough, they can do what they want anyway, can't they?
Well, that's right. One of husband's children was like actually in Australia, and he's like, I love it, but I'm missing the girlfriend. He went back, married the girlfriend, they got divorced, he met someone else, so he stayed, but he always wanted to move here but hasn't made it. And one of the other sons was like, I want to go to the States. So you get to the point where you think, life's for us as well. Yeah, they've got their own lives. They've all been over.
Yeah.
So how long have you been here then, Helen?
12 years.
Oh, well, that's not
Yeah.
We've been here. I've been 9, Mark's only been here
6.
6, so
Okay.
we're getting there. It's all right. So
Yeah.
where did you start with your tour in Australia then? Did you just come and go everywhere, or did you?
No, we did. We came over, we landed in Perth, stayed in the city, got a train pass. In 4 days, we'd gone to Mandurah, come as far as the train went, sat in the marina, at the boat, had fish and chips, and husband said, I quite like this place. I went, oh, hang on a minute, we've still got 7 weeks to go. We haven't gone to the other, we haven't even got to the East Coast yet. So he'd made up his mind Mindarie was for him.
Down there the other day, I was having a pizza on the marina, and I said I could quite happily live in one of them apartments there.
Just sit and people watch. There's always boats coming in and out. And
Yeah.
That's a good bit. I take the kids down kayaking every now and again. It's quite a nice wee bit to launch and just go around the harbour.
Yeah,
and
around the
stuff.
little
the little beach.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. I'm not too keen to beach much. It's kind of dirty, but we never. Well, it's not dirty. It's just that kind of, it's not. You've got beautiful sandy beach,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you go to that. That's not really a beach. It's just it's like
tiny.
elder sand.
It's tiny.
But it's a great bit, and for young
good for
kids,
them.
nice and shallow. It's it's as safe as anything. But we just go and sort of launch our kayaks and then go around the harbour and come back. We've not done it for a while, actually.
Yeah,
but,
same here.
Yeah.
We took Mia down when she was a bit younger, but we've not been down recently.
That's a lovely bit, isn't it? It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a good spot. So you liked Mindarie?
He
so
did.
you get anywhere else, Helen? Did that?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we
Yeah.
flew over. We went to Ayers Rock on the way to Cairns, drove down to Brisbane. From Brisbane, I can't remember if we went to Adelaide or Melbourne. But then whichever one we went to first, went to the second one after that. And then went to Sydney.
So out of all them places, Mindarie was the...
For him,
What about for you? Did you...
I was a Queensland fan and we tossed a coin, I lost.
Oh, there's one way of doing it now.
That's the way to do it. Rock, paper, scissors, toss
Yeah.
a coin. I love it. That could be a new strategy for the wife and I.
Yeah.
So anyone out there, I was hooked on Redcliffe Bay. Absolutely loved it. But husband got his way. And actually, we didn't live in Mindarie when we started because my husband is a builder and our UK house wasn't finished. So I actually got a job here first. He stayed in the UK. So I lived over here. He was over there, about 7 months apart, I suppose. I rented a house in Yanchep. Some land in Yanchep came up for sale. Just phoned him one day and said, we're not living in Mindarie. I bought some land in Yanchep and I've got a build design. And he was like, oh, are you sure it's nice? I went, well, I like it.
Yeah,
So
that's
did you
nice.
Did you go with that then? Yeah.
Yeah, we built and we moved in it. But then he decided, he was like, I'd rather live in Mindarie. So we ended up moving to Mindarie.
Is he still building here then, Helen?
Does his own double glazing.
What's his company called?
Mansell Double Glazing. When he
Alright,
first came over, he was project managing what is now called the RAC Arena. So he worked for one of the contractors that was doing the fit out of the Perth Arena. That was a bit stressful though. So, just can I go back? What do you think about me working for myself? And I went, yeah, go for it. So I used to do some fostering for Safe Perth. I don't do that anymore, but I do now do some work for Wildlife WA. And I have a pile of bobtails that live with me.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the lizards. So when Yanchep had the fires and some of the lizards don't fare too well, they'll go via the vet and then come to me for a bit of rehab before they go back in the wild.
This isn't great audio, right? But I'm going to ask Helen to demonstrate to Mark how big a bobtail is, just to show your hands. Helen.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because what happened was Mark was picking up some leaves. He just told us
This week.
yesterday
This
the
was
story.
yesterday.
The other
This
day
didn't
that-
happen yesterday. I was telling the story.
They've got
You-
no
you tell it.
teeth and they don't bite.
Yeah,
No,
well,
no,
Mark,
but-
well, Mark picked up a handful of leaves and he's put
Yeah.
them in the bin, and he reached down to pick up the next handful of leaves, and it was a bobtail, and
Oh.
he panicked.
There was a bobtail
and
there.
he was telling me it was like this size, Alan.
I did not say it was that big.
I know.
It was about that big.
That's a typical man 6 inches. So
Yeah.
if we make it a realistic
What do you
6
mean by
inches,
But
man,
you said- you're
just
twice as-
elaborate on man 6 inches.
Twice
Well,
as big as
like-
it should be. That's what it is.
yeah. So at the minute Mark's demonstrating over a foot has been
Yeah.
6 inches.
Do you not think that's the
No.
bobtail?
No.
It was easily that
What
big.
No.
size? How do you measure anything on a roof with that scaling?
It was easily
That's
that
like
big.
600 millimetres there, easily. They're
Do you know
lucky
what?
for free.
I'm gonna prove. I've got
You
proof.
get a picture of it?
I've got proof. I took a picture of it. I videoed it. I had an heart attack.
How funny would it be, Helen, if it's actually not a bobtail and it's like a sand lizard or
Oh,
something?
it could be.
No, it didn't have a tail.
Well, they've got tails. Well, bobtails have got tails. That's where they've got.
No, it
bobtail.
didn't have like much like a stump.
Yeah,
it
no,
looks
they're
like
more-
it looks like its head. Head and the tail look very
Yeah, well,
similar.
like a stumper.
and
It was
they're-
definitely a bobtail. I mean, I'm not.
That's
both
Helen's
ends look
age,
the
but-
same.
Yeah.
Because when they're being about to be attacked, they can actually ward off by
Yeah.
lifting their tail instead of their head and then turn around quickly.
That's clever.
So how
Yeah.
many bobtails have you got?
At the minute, I've got 11.
Ooh, and do they get on with the
Two-
cats?
Yeah. 2 are permanent residents. Yeah, if you go on
Well, they've got visas.
with me, they've got permanent residency
That's
with
good.
me.
That's
yeah,
good. So
yeah.
you keep them, Helen. That's really nice.
And
Yeah.
have they got names?
Well, the male's called Bob, very original.
That's good, that. Jen. Bob and Jen.
I've got another one that's called Matilda, and that's the 2 that live with me permanently. The others are just, they come in and...
Can I ask you something else? Somebody told me a while ago that bobtails, they sort of mate and they pair up for life. Is that
Yeah,
is that
that's
true?
right. So
Yeah.
they're monogamous.
Yeah,
Are
that's
they
what I was
my
telling
male?
Mark when he
Yeah.
took the one in the bucket and he put it over our side of the road. He should have kept it because, I might have took it away for his
Yeah.
wife.
It was on his own.
or
It was
husband.
like next to the bin.
Yeah, but the female could be somewhere else, just in the garden or under another
You
bin,
never
or
moved it
pretty
far.
close.
I'm not having a bobtail lizard running around our garden. I'm
Why
sorry.
not?
They
All
only
the
eat-
snails, the
yeah.
slugs, are brilliant.
We don't have any slugs. I've never seen a slug here
That's
in my
because you
life.
had a bobtail eating them all. Come on, keep up.
Now, my wife's like not good with creepy crawlies, so when I showed her the bobtail lizard,
You know,
She,
the
like,
bobtail lizard did
freaked.
eat the creepy
she
crawlies.
freaked out
She wanted to move house.
and she wanted to move house
Okay.
for the bobtail. Luckily, I relocated. I was very good. I put it in a bucket. I took it down in the bush across the road. and-
Just across the street. That's not
Separated
bad.
it from its female mate.
That's what I told him. Told him that, Helen. I never told him at the time because I never knew that at the time, but I did refer him to that's not what you're meant to do with bobtails. So now you know.
No, I know. Just keep it where it is. Invite it in. I should have invited
You
it in.
should have.
I made it up a bed.
Yeah. But if you were a bit terrified.
It was.
You got-
They're
you got-
scary though, but you've never seen one before.
Well, when you bend and pick up a bobtail thinking it's leaves, that probably
Yeah,
give you
because it was
fright.
dark. It was dark as well. And I was so close to picking it up, and then it moved, and I'm like, oh my god.
What's that?
So I were videoing it, and then I'm like ushering it along, trying to get it in a bucket.
Been doing this with the bushfire and stuff, and they
Just come in from the Perth Hills bushfires. So,
Yeah.
because they lose their scales, they get burnt. So, you have to keep building their scales back up with artificial resin. And then another 3 or 4 months, they'll go back out in the wild. Yeah.
So you're like you're out there now on like for the pub, for everybody to know that you're relocating bobtails. So
Well, the local
official
vet knows. People in Midland where I work know that I'll take rehab bobtails, not when they're really sick, being via the vet, and then they just need a bit of tender loving care for extra weeks.
It's nice because I
Yeah.
bet there's not many people that actually do that.
Well, I brought my husband a bobtail course as well, so we went up to Kanyana for a day to learn how to care for them. You know, when you guys say, "I don't want anything for Christmas, surprise me," that's what we
That's
got
what
as
I
a
got.
surprise
That's good.
one year. Yeah.
that's what a nice thing to do. I mean, it's, again, that it's obviously comes back to you being community minded and everything else. Helen, you're just happy helping people. So
I can't say no to animals. Don't say no
Yeah.
to too many humans either. So I work in human services as well.
do you not think it's just the way to go? Though? I think the more and more expats protect. I mean, a lot of my friends in general, right, whether they're expats or not, they just say yes to things more than say no. And life just seems to open doors for you when you do that. I say this to Mark all the time. It's
true.
Mark and I are
Yeah.
both the same. My wife gives me a hard time, but she's staying in the UK. So why do you help them? Why do you do this? They never help me. I said, well, I'm not doing it for them. I do it because I
Yeah.
feel like I want to, and I don't care. I'm doing it because I want to. You can say yes, and then we end up here. Happy life, and it's amazing what you get when you say yes, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think if you don't get out if you don't put in, and that's
Yeah,
the way I
exactly,
look at
yeah.
it. So I've had various opportunities open up. So why not? Why
And
not?
I think
take
I
them?
think most people that have come here that's exactly why, isn't it?
That's the kind of attitude. I think most of the people we've spoke to so far as well is that's the attitude they've got. Is they'd rather say, you have to make a big decision to come here in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, Helen went away and left all her family and told them we're moving.
Yeah,
You need to
Bye,
ship out.
kids.
We're leaving. Good luck.
it works.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's a bold. What made you think about coming in the first place, Helen? Was it just you wanted to do something for yourself, or what was it?
I always knew I didn't want to end up in the UK at retirement. I wasn't sure about leaving it that long to emigrate because I think you need to build up a circle of friends ready for retirement. Probably have a career somewhere and learn the system a little bit, I suppose.
What made you decide on Australia?
I'd always fancied to come and have a look. Dave, my husband, had decided that years ago he'd like to come here and live one day, but had never had the opportunity. So yeah, we got, I don't know, 10, 12 years into our relationship, so let's go and have a look.
It's interesting. It's always interesting to find out why people come. I mean, mine was just a spur of the moment. I found a job and I had dollars. I thought it was America. It turned out it was Australia. Said, because we were thinking about going to America. Yeah. Said to the missus in the morning, she's not going to Australia. And then by the afternoon, I had all these replies for emails and stuff, and the rest is history. Before you know, we're here. But again, it was like the door just kept opening. I never tried to come here.
It's when you start looking, though, isn't it? When you start looking, then you start getting interest, and then the more you look, the more interesting it looks, and it just gets more and more appealing. And then you're finding you can't think of anything bad about why you shouldn't even go.
Yeah.
Oh, we just certainly had more regrets for not coming. I mean, every door just kept open. You think, okay, there's a door that if that doesn't open, we'll stop, and then it opened. And it opened before we even got near it, kind of thing. It was ridiculous, and it just, everything was so easy. And we got to the point where it's like we really need to go now, because if we don't, we'll look back and think we had all these opportunities and we left them. So.
I think you need to try it. I mean, when you get here, it's not for everyone. I mean, there's a fair majority do go back for various reasons, whether they can't find the job of their dreams or they really can't cope with family. But I think if you get the opportunity, and even if you only do a year or 2 years, at least you've done it.
You can't say no, can you? Like, because our visa took 5 years to get. We applied in like 2009. We didn't get it till 2014.
Yeah.
And then when you've got that email, how can you say no to it? You put all that effort in to get it, and then you get it, and should we? Shouldn't we? You've got to give it a go, haven't you?
I think I think you'd regret it if you didn't.
Yeah.
But then I suppose there must be
people
that have had it and they don't take it up.
It must be in the back of the mind though when they've actually got it and then they don't do it.
Yeah, I think if I was sitting in the UK now with COVID and stuff and I hadn't came here, I'd be like, man, that was a mistake. I blew
definitely.
I mean, you got to. I mean, especially with 3 kids and stuff. And I mean, things changed. We never ran away from Scotland. We had a great life there.
Yeah.
And kids, when we had all the family, their kids were happy, and and we still had a great. I mean, my mates are doing exactly what I would be doing now, and they're having great time. So, and they're looking after their kids through the COVID and everything else. So we'd have been fine, But it's
you can't call it, can you? 'Cause it's where we're all from.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's still home. It's just
definitely.
It's just a nicer life here.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in the UK are you from, Helen?
Originally, I was born in Birmingham. We moved to the West Country.
Devon?
No.
Somerset?
Clevedon, near Weston-super-Mare. And then I didn't stay there. After about 17, 18, I've then moved around. So I've lived in Exeter, Oxford, Gloucester, London, Tunisia, Corfu for a while.
So you've been about?
Yeah.
We could have a whole podcast just between Helen Steed.
Yeah.
And then I ended up in Gloucester.
What all these countries, Tunisia and what were you doing there? Was that just with job or just travelling?
Yeah, holiday repping.
Oh, right.
So you were doing like the 18 to 30s
I did.
thing. You must have some stories.
Oh, from a holiday rep's point of view, it's not as much fun as you'd think it is, because all the people coming out on holiday when you're that age are either coming out to find women or find men. Yeah, there would be some tales in there, probably for another time, but yeah.
Was it Club 18 to 30 you did?
It was actually Club 1830 that I did.
Did you ever do like, where did we go to? We went to Magaluf. Did you ever go there?
No.
Horrible
place, I did Hammamet in Tunisia, and then I was in Corfu for a while.
Yeah, they were the best holidays. I mean, when I look back at all the holidays I've had, they were the most fun. Especially for young guys, because you've not a clue what you're doing when you're there.
Worst accommodation, though. I mean,
actually, pretty decent.
Young guys are daft. They go and get wrecked at night, and then they're going on the beach all day, no suntan cream. Then you've ended up taking them to flipping hospital.
I'll tell you a quick story. Helen will think this is nothing compared to what I've got. But we arrived and played the English, and there was 9 years. We got there. Next game day, we're going back. We're going to the beach. So we came out of the hotel fairly early in the morning, going to the beach, and there's this guy coming back up. Strange looking sort of man. What's going on? I mean, he's a bit our age as well. But when he got closer, half his face was sand. It was like the whole half his body was like a donut, right? Just to know exactly 50% in, like Two-Face. One side is sand, and the other side was like bright red. Yeah. And he'd been out in the piss the night before, fell asleep on the beach, and he laid side down, and he just got burnt for like 3 hours before he woke up. It was great. Yeah, I could tell you more stories about him. We got quite friendly with him, funny enough.
And that happens so often.
All the time. How many people fall asleep and pissed and they wake up and they're just burnt to a crisp?
Yeah, the thing is, it'd ruin your holiday, wouldn't it? Especially if you're half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see that much here. I think when you see people that are burnt here, you go, he's a bomb.
Yeah,
As a tourist.
absolutely.
Yeah. We were up in Yanchep Beach a couple of years ago, and our friends were over from Scotland, and we're just in the lagoon. We sort of came out, and I remember Jennifer says, he must be English or British or something, that guy, isn't he? And I turned around, and he was just this sort of red-headed guy, and he had the white wife-beater suntan.
All right.
Just the best, bright red arms.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like, it does not look healthy at all.
No.
Do you find when you went back to Scotland, people are looking at you like, you live in Australia, why aren't you lovely and brown and tan?
I get that all the time when I go back. But I said, I've got red hair. This is how I go. I don't change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is it.
I've kind of always a bit weather beaten. I've been working outside forever, so I don't know if anybody really noticed that. My face is always a bit brown and weather beaten. It's weather beaten more than tan, though. I do kind of.
I'm really tanned, actually. Cause
No, you're not, mate.
I am.
You're not.
I swear to God, that.
Thank you. If that's a tan, I dread to think what colour you are.
When this is finished, I'll go on Google Photos and I'll go back to photos when I worked in an office. And no word of a lie, I am white.
I'm
But you are now.
But I'm white. I'm that colour. Like literally, I'm just white.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. But I'm not seeing the difference. Helen, you seen any difference?
Not really.
No.
I've got colour.
Okay. You keep telling yourself that, that's fine.
I'm going to show you pictures after. In fact, I'll post. No, I won't.
Don't bother.
No, I won't.
No.
I wish I'd post them on Instagram, but I ain't posting pictures of me when I was like 18, 19. I want to punch myself. Do you know when you look back at all photos, and it's like, what the hell was going on?
What was I doing? Why was I wearing that?
What was going on there?
We were doing old photos last week. It's like afro hair, like big
hair.
perms and big shoulder pads on your shoulders, and just the way the fashion changed. It's like so different. People aren't so bothered here, are they? In the UK, it's like, that's the in haircut, that's the in shoes.
Yeah, no one
and here
cares.
it's like,
Mia starts, well, not all the time, but she shops a lot now at she calls them thrift shops. What do you call them? And she'll wear stuff from there. She really don't care.
Yeah.
Like, if you're at home, it's not like that. You're peer pressured into wearing all the designer stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
No one cares here.
No, and kids are kids here as well, I think.
Yeah,
for
longer.
For longer, yeah.
Definitely. It's great. I mean, that's one of the big advantages for me coming with kids is just seeing them being kids for longer,
Yeah.
And the facilities. Where would you go and get
incredible.
your free barbecues and things at the beach in the UK?
Yeah.
They'd be gone. The gas would be nicked, wouldn't it?
How good is that, Helen? I mean, that's the first thing when we got here, the first year we were here, I was getting a train to work and coming back and meeting Lorna at a park or something. We'd have a barbecue for dinner.
Yeah.
Just at the park. And the kids were, because they're only small at the time, they were just running around having fun. And that's great. And, having that kind of thing is huge advantage for being here. So
I think that's the kind of thing when you get here is like you pinch yourself moments, because you can't quite believe how good things are for families and how things don't really get abused or.
No, that's right. And you go to the shopping centres at Christmas and Easter, and there's free Easter egg hunts, and there's always community events where they can go get their faces painted. Or
Oh, it's great. Yeah. That kind of stuff's fantastic. I think there's more and more of that in the UK as well. But it's just like we said most of the time, it's hard to organise it because you don't know what the weather's going to be like.
That's right.
So how did you find you settled in when you got here?
The first few months were a bit difficult because our husband was back home. So all the furniture and all the fittings and all the things that you used to were obviously back home with him. So I rented a 4x2, went and bought a queen bed, a tiny telly, and lived in a bedroom basically, and went out in the big family area to cook with no other furniture out there. So it's a bit... But I was at work all day, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, so...
And so were you working in Midland when you were up in Yanchep as well? That's a bit of
No. So when I first came here, I was working in Joondalup. I've only been working in Midland since September.
What is it you do for a job?
So when I first came over here, I'm a qualified accountant. So I was working as a chief financial officer for a local charity. So you already know I like community. I'll give them a little plug. They're called Community Vision. They look after aged care, disability care, family daycare. So whole right across the age span, I suppose. About six,
It just
7
seems
years
your
later.
whole life has been looking after people, and you were looking after the drunken idiots during your 18 to 30s. Now you're looking after people.
It's probably all stemmed from that. It's probably
Yeah.
kind of psychologically
Yeah.
thought, I've got to look after people.
Absolutely.
They're too drunk to look after
Yeah,
themselves.
these
My
16,
very first
17-year-old boys.
My very first job was in an old person's home.
Was it?
Back
there
in
you
the
go.
UK, yeah. You know, when they have the young girls that go in and help make the tea for the
Yeah.
afternoon
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever, you just go and talk to the elderly because they've got
Yeah.
no visitors.
Yeah.
That's what I did at 14. And I moved to Midland in September, and I'm now the CEO of an organisation that looks after women that are suffering mental health or mainly family and domestic violence. That has gone through the roof with COVID. Huge. It's a real issue.
Even here, COVID's not hit us as badly here now, but you noticed it just.
It's
even
the
with
people that
still-
were, you know, when we had the first shutdowns, and then people are on the job keeper or they've
Yeah.
been retrenched, and there's a lot more people than you imagine ended up on job seeker. The indigenous people, it's.
So are you looking after like people like in the area of Midland, or is that just where you're
No,
based?
we can service anybody. I'm also a chair of a women's refuge as well.
How'd you fit all this in?
That's good.
You've
I
got a
don't know,
list.
how did we manage to get up here tonight?
How did you get here? What have you cancelled?
Yeah, you must have cancelled some
Some
poor animal.
poor bugger is suffering because you're here.
Yeah.
No, probably about, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 nights of the month are out doing things. So, yeah, I mean, all board meetings tend to be at night. So,
Yeah.
like tomorrow will be with the City of Wanneroo doing their Reconciliation Action Plan. Being a CEO, I have my own board. So, I have board meetings with them once a month. And then we have various committees, Finance and Audit Committee and Risk and things that we do.
It's staggering the amount of stuff you do, Helen.
So
honestly.
no more doors can open for you because you haven't got surely to God you haven't got any more time to give.
But if you work in community, it's just what you do.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
literally what you do. So as part of the role, I suppose, of any person in an organisation is go out and connect with other organisations. If you get asked to
Yeah.
go and do something with them, you will.
It's great to see the expats really pulling their weight.
Well, the thing
You
is, if you're an expat and you're coming here to work, aren't you? You're coming here to give,
Yeah.
contribute. You're not coming here to sponge. You're not
No,
coming
well,
here.
you can't, can you?
Yeah.
I mean, you all
Yeah.
sign that. You sign
Yeah.
something anyway. You can't claim for, is it
Which
2
is-
years or 3 years?
Yeah.
I can't
yeah, which
remember.
is
but
which
yeah.
is brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, people come to work anyway. You're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't really force you just you are here to work. That's
Yeah.
how we come. So
Well, they're not going to let you in, are they? Unless they actually want you. You're on a skills list, or there's a shortage, or
Yeah.
so you're going to have to tick a box to even be able to land in Oz. Really,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
more boxes now. But yeah,
So what? I mean, that brings to another question, I suppose. And so your husband's a builder. Did you come on his sort of visa? Or did you come on your?
he applied
came-
first. So he's a carpenter by trade. So he went through his trade exams. He did get really annoyed when he had to go and do his English language testing.
It's crazy that,
He was
isn't it?
like, why have I got to go and do that? So we applied on the back of him, but then when it went actually through the immigration system, they granted me my own on my skills on my own right as well,
There
and
you
I
go.
didn't have to go and do the English language.
There you
But-
go. That's
What
good.
under you being an accountant?
Yeah.
You were
'Cause there was a
probably,
short-
more in demand.
And at the time, trades were more in demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I thought
yeah.
back then trades were more in demand
Yeah,
than
much
most.
more
but
in
that's-
demand. So we thought he'd go through the system quicker. Both went through the system in exactly the same amount of time. When we came out to validate our visa, I just pulled off a job because he hadn't finished the house in the UK. He went back to, he'd started building an extension. He had to go back and finish it.
Yeah.
So I never lived in that house finished.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, never lived in it
Have
finished.
you ever seen it finished?
Yeah, I went back to make sure that what came in the shipping container was what I wanted in the shipping container and not a pile of rubbish. Yeah.
Building stuff, tools and things.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
thought, I'll have that tool, and I like that tool.
We can't bring that, but we'll bring this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we did bring all his tools. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what does your husband think of all these things? Is he quite happy that you're just out enjoying yourself? Is that sort of part of how you integrated in here? And,
It is partly how I integrated it, and it's also an education for myself, so I understand more.
Yep.
So I like being involved with our local council.
Do you think you'll go to run again?
I don't know, because at the minute I really haven't got the time. Taking on a CEO role has been quite, it's my first CEO role, so it's been quite a big learning curve in terms of all the governance and things that sit behind. I mean, it's one thing then finances, but now there's a bit more to be over.
doing so many things. What you're CEO of? What is it you're CEO of again?
So
what one
I'm
is that?
CEO of Midland Women's Healthcare
Right,
Place. Yeah, so we looks after women that are suffering from mental health issues or
Yeah.
family and domestic violence. So mental health and family and domestic violence have been getting some serious funding.
Well, they've probably realised with everything, like you were saying earlier, everything that's been going on with COVID, it's kind of brought it to the forefront of people's minds a bit more as well, because it's probably happening a lot more.
Well, for some, there's a lot of anxiety about family separation. Like, none of us can get back. So if you've got family in the UK, when are we all going to see them? Even when they lift the restrictions, for some people, it'll be the cost, because, I mean, flight costs have gone up.
I bet you'll see a lot of cases through Poms in Perth that are probably related to like what you're doing, looking after people as well.
You sometimes see some of the comments, and you can tell that people are struggling. So I do actually privately, I don't go obviously on the page and say, hey, come and see us there, but I do actually reach out if I think people are struggling and say,
are you surprised at at all?
I'm not surprised. Have you actually have you helped people out through through doing that as well?
Quite private message. Yeah. We've just got involved with the organisation I'm with. I just volunteered to involve our organisation with the City of Swan, to go and help those that have been affected by the.
Is there more than one of you? Have you got like a double or a triple?
No, but I've got a great team that work under me.
You must delegate so well.
Most of them will put their hands up. I'll just say, a lot of the staff that I've got in Midland actually live in the Perth Hills, so I have people that were evacuated. They know people that have lost houses. We know a few clients, so it's like, okay, so when it's that close and you actually know people affected, I think it's just a natural thing to do, isn't it? And say, like, can we help? And there might not be, right now, at some point when you finish going through that process of, what have I lost?
Yeah, they've got to get the grief's got to kick in.
Of course it will, and that's when you can step in. So and there's other practical things we can do. So I've done a partnership with Food Bank that we've just signed off on. So use our centre and people can come and get what they want.
Your list is just literally getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Any good organisation wants to grow. Yeah. And if you're a community organisation, you want to grow and do more and branch out and help more people.
Well, look, if we can do maybe at the end of the podcast when we're finished, we can get some details from you, Helen. We'll put everyone on the bottom of on the spiel and put all the things you're involved in and see. I mean,
great.
We've not got thousands of viewers at the minute, our listeners, but
no. But if there's links to everything that you are doing, then people can go and get more information. Then, can't
absolutely,
they?
I'm sure people listening to what Helen's been saying so far, they'll be like us, amazed.
Well, it's kind of enlightening because we've got you on as the admin of Poms in Perth, but to be honest, the admin of Poms in Perth doesn't even scratch the surface.
No, not even close. I genuinely thought with the amount of work, because Helen's always posting the Poms in Perth as well, and Russell said, she does all the heavy lifting, and I don't doubt that now when we're speaking to her, but I thought it'd be mainly about that. Have you noticed with all your stuff you're doing coming here and then being so heavily involved in things, have you noticed that you get treated differently by Australians, or have they been very welcoming and really understand your ideas? Do you notice any difference culturally with your
Initially,
opinions and
I think it was a case of you needed the right qualifications to get your foot in the door and things. I do think a lot of Perth is who you know now, because I know people, and I suppose finance is just second nature to me. So, but other things on top, like community services, I know a lot more than I did over a decade ago. Now I do get asked if I'll go and do things and join things. So I've just put in an idea with actual City of Perth on a project they're working on, and I'm quite excited because I've been invited to actually go and present to the City of Perth. So I'm really it's on lighting. So City of Perth are about to actually. They're doing something called the Light Up Project, and they were just going to put lights in areas that need it. So unsafe areas that have, alleys or what have great lighting. So I actually took it a step further and said, when you're designing these lights, I notice you're having architects, etc. Why don't you actually use community organisations' logos that support the things that can happen from that having good lighting? So, I don't know, people get attacked in dark alleys, or, homelessness, people go and try and sleep in them and they get, why don't you actually go to the organisations and actually have their logos as the lights instead of having things designed? Yes.
So they've acknowledged that, and they want you to come in and talk.
Went through their council meeting last night, has been approved. So I've been invited, because that was my idea to use the logo, has been invited to go in and have a conversation.
That's absolutely fantastic.
So I'm hoping
it sounds promising then, because they must have thought it was a semi-decent idea to even contemplate getting you in.
Well, why would you not? You're going to light up. You're lighting up for a reason.
Yeah.
Why not highlight the reasons or help the charities that support the fallout when things go wrong because you didn't have the lights there to start with?
So what's the idea? Are they going to be like projecting the
No,
thing, or
so
just
the actual
light
lights,
is
you
going to
know,
be a
when
symbol?
they did the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
No, when they did the light festival
Yeah,
at
they're
Christmas, you walk through.
City
So there
Perth
was
are always good
there
for
was
that,
a
yeah.
Christmas tree that was sponsored for Lifeline. I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw
I
it.
did
It's
see
like,
it, yeah.
right. So it's same sort of thing.
Yep.
So it's where they're going to put these lights. So we're just going to be designs. It's just okay, instead of actually having an architect design a brilliant design from scratch. Well, design it around somebody's logo, because not everyone's logos are going to fit the gaps. So incorporate the logo, and then actually have a bit of a spiel on the wall about why that's there, which supports the charities. And if they take it a step further, you know, there's the donation.
They've got to go with that, aren't they? Because it's just creating so much awareness.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, they wanted to create awareness
by
having the Light Up project.
Yeah,
so I'm now create awareness for the charities that could benefit from the Light Up project. So yeah, hopefully it will go the distance. We'll see.
Do you know, like, when you've got these organisations, is there anything where you can actually use Facebook to kind of promote without paying? Like, do they do any deals with like charities where you don't have to?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah. So obviously, I love Facebook pages. The organisation's got a Facebook page. Of course, it has. The Refuge that I'm chair of, that's got its own Facebook page. So yeah, we can advertise on.
So you
those
can do
platforms.
Facebook ads.
You can do Facebook ads. Yeah.
Is it free? Or?
They don't charge us. No.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone that does that for you? Or?
We've got actual Midland Women's. Yeah, we've got someone who's in charge of the social media, but they only do Facebook. So I do the LinkedIn posts because they're aimed at a slightly different target. For the Refuge, they haven't got a dedicated person, so it's whoever can jump on and.
Because you can super target Facebook ads so precisely. You can get people exactly who you want to see it.
Yeah, because you just put in what.
The demographics and
this area, this age group, whether you're after men, women, aimed at schools or whatever it is.
Just like everyone else, try to get the time to do it as well. And if you volunteers and community groups, it's not always easy to get somebody who's maybe even just technical enough to do it or got the time when they're.
The good thing is though, because that Facebook actually.
You have to apply. So it's basically it's a Facebook community grant. You just apply online, and normally they'll say, we let you run things for 8 weeks, 3 months, whatever it is. Yeah,
that's really good because I didn't know. Because I know I've got a couple of brands and I do Facebook ads,
and a lot of people don't know,
and it costs an absolute fortune.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, there's an art and an act to it, and you can waste a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. Like. If you're not targeting the right audience.
That's right.
So because the charities actually get so much time allocated for free, it's good. How is it having your mum and dad living with you? Like, I know they're not living with you, it's in a granny flat.
At the beginning, they were actually living with us to try and get them to settle and make it home. The granny flat was built other than putting in it was built above our garages, so they go across the back to get in. So they've got their own little front door, they've got their own kitchen, bathroom, a couple of bedrooms and a little laundry. So they can still be independent, but they share the garden, so no gardening, no maintenance, that sort of thing. We built the bones of it, but we didn't actually put the bathroom in. We didn't put any wallpaper on the wall. We didn't paint it.
Or did you leave that for your mum and dad to
choose the colours?
Yeah,
so
that's
literally took them shopping and said, what kitchen do you want? Oh, like yours. Oh, okay, that's easy. We know where ours come from. We just go and duplicate it. What sort of bathroom? What tiles? How would you like your bathroom? So thinking about them going forward,
that's really nice.
And since they've come, do you feel like you've kind of got a bit of weight lifted as they're getting older? You've not got that worry about.
I haven't got to keep going back.
Yeah.
It'd be great having them here, Helen, definitely.
Of course.
Like I know Lorna would. She would love to. Have
if Karina could have a mum and dad here, she'd be like, my wife just wants to go home. She's so homesick. But if a mum and dad could come, it'd be a game changer.
Well, I think we should maybe head round it up. What do you think? It's been really, honestly, Helen, it's been lovely speaking to you.
Lovely speaking to you both.
It has been good, and it's been enlightening because we just thought you were a bored housewife doing Poms in Perth. If anyone wants to get in touch with your website or anything, is there anywhere where you want to point them to, or do you just want to put all our links in, like the Instagram pages and
I'll send
Facebook
you the
pages?
links, is that all right?
Yeah, do that, yeah, definitely. If
Perfect.
we can do anything, I mean, we're never going to be up to your standard, Helen, but if we can do anything at all that, helps you out, we'll do that,
Great.
Good. It's been lovely speaking to you. Thanks very much
It's
for
been
coming.
really good. I've enjoyed it. It's been good.
Lovely.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed the show as much as we did, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Expats and Core Cats, and hit that subscribe button.